The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 or don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-grind them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing to you. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O.
What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody on TikTok? What's going on, everybody on YouTube? What's going on, everybody on X? How's everybody doing this beautiful Monday morning? It is freezing cold here where I'm at. So, but good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Let's get moving. Let's get into the markets. Let's look at the markets. Let's do our thing. Like I said, on your way in, y'all, tap that like button, tap that share button over there on TikTok. On your way in, go ahead and start tapping on that screen. Let's get them likes up. Let's get them likes moving. We're going to get into the market today. We're going to look at the overall market. We're going to look at cryptocurrency market, which, boy, what a roller coaster ride we've been on with that crypto market. And we're going to get into whether or not I believe we're in a bear market, a bull market. What are the indicators? What are the signs? How I'm playing this thing? What's going on over there in the stock market as well? And how that's looking, because they got beat up the last couple of days as well. The last couple of days of trading on Thursday, Friday, they got beat up as well. So, there's a lot we got to get into today. But what's up? Good morning, Junior. Good morning, Selmo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, over there on TikTok, I can see you guys rolling in, man. Make sure you're tapping that screen, hitting that share button, you guys. And we're going to get up. We're going to get after it. We're going to get into it. And we're going to start moving here in a little bit. Got a lot going on. Got FOMC meeting minutes coming out this week. You got a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully get some data as the government starts to open here in the United States. I'm going to hopefully get some data coming up. Button up before it bottoms. I don't know. Are we getting close to the bottom? Are we not getting close to the bottom, Selmo? I'm not sure, man. We're gonna see, man. But you guys over there on TikTok, man, keep smashing that like screen, man. We're gonna get up. We're gonna get after it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna look at these markets and really start to dive a little bit deep into what's going on, a little bit deeper than what we usually dive into, because we're at that tipping point. I think we're at this point where it can go one or two ways, right? Nobody knows which way it's going to go, but it can go one or two ways, right? It's either going to go up and we're going to recover, or we're going to head down, right? But there's some indicators that we're going to look at, and we're gonna see kind of where we're at, right? So let's go on. Let's take a look. It's Monday, y'all. It's Monday. We up. We after it. We're doing our thing. Let's go. Thanks for the gifts over there on TikTok, y'all. Appreciate you. I think corporate investors. I think corporate investors are here, but I think they're already in. And I think corporate institutional investors, they have what they want already. They're already in. It's just a matter of kind of, how they play, how the rest of the market plays itself out. But we do have some issues over in crypto that's got to get fixed before we absolutely send to a parabolic run. And if they don't get fixed, if they don't start to improve themselves or get fixed, then we're gonna kind of just be hanging, right? So we got the Asian markets. They didn't trade too bad. They didn't trade too bad at all. Got the European markets over there. Ken's dumping the markets again. Ken's dumping the markets again. I don't know what's going on over here. Ken, quit dumping them European markets. They look like trash, man. They're trading right now all in red, man. It's crazy. But yeah, but the United States markets, whoops, hit the wrong button there. Hold it. Hold up. The United States markets look good though. The pre-markets over here look really, really good. They look like they're all in green. They're all in green. The NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, all sitting here in green, not doing too bad. Looks like we're gonna open up a lot better than what we closed on Friday, which is a good thing because AI got absolutely torched on Thursday and Friday. XRP is not a crypto. XRP is a crypto. XRP is a crypto. Junior, it's a crypto. Ripple's not a crypto, but XRP is. So I mean, we're not gonna talk about that bigger than what it is. It's a crypto. Ripple's not. XRP is. So it is what it is. You are what you are. You are what you are. But XRP, they got a chance to run, and but we're not gonna talk about them for any more than what they are. Social ID, what's happening in the UK, in the UK, praying for yeah, I'm praying for Ken too, man. What's going on over there in the UK, man? I hope everything's good. I hope everything's good over there. Mexico's got some problems as well. So, I just hope everybody in the world is good, man. So, you got the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ futures are going to open up way better than what they closed, and that's good. You got B-Sol, which is Bitwise's Sol ETF, looks like it's gonna open up at close at 1830, and it's down 0.3% here in pre-markets. You got Nvidia sitting at 190. Looks like it's up 3.3% here in the pre-market, so that's good. You got the XRPC, which is the Canary ETF, sitting at $24.13, down 0.4%. Looks like it's going to open up down 0.4% on the market. So ETFs not doing too great over here on the market. The Sol and XRP ETFs not doing too well over here on the market, but we'll see. We'll see. Them are the pre-markets. Them are just the pre-markets. So, again, guys, over there on TikTok, keep smashing that screen over there. Keep hitting them like buttons. Let's get us up in the For You page. Let's keep tapping that screen, man. I appreciate all you guys over there. And when over here on X and YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button, smash that share button as well. I appreciate it. There's my man Ken. No social ID. Ken says no social ID for me. He's good. Ken's good. He's here. He's in the building. He's making it. So before we get into cryptocurrency, right here on the front page of CNBC, right? This big news outlet, right? This is huge financial outlet right here. Bitcoin's bear market. The headline is Bitcoin's bear market could deepen further as liquidity worries take hold. And this is going to be an issue with crypto. And this is the issue that I'm seeing in crypto right now, is the liquidity issue, right? And Coinbase came out and said that liquidity was razor thin. White Rock one of the biggest market makers out there came out and said that liquidity was basically dried up. And we'll get into where I believe the liquidity, not I believe, we'll get into where the actual liquidity is. We'll go look at some of these blockchains. We'll see what's moving. We'll see what's not moving as far as volume goes, because that's your liquidity, right? But Bitcoin bear market, they're raising the alarm that this thing could get a little bit deeper, just because of the liquidity crunch that we're in. There's not money flowing in at the rate in which it needs to be, and this is going to be an issue, right? Because where's the liquidity coming from, right? That's going to be the issue. And I know that we're going to quantitative easing, and we're supposed to be injecting a $1 trillion into the market. But even if you were to inject the $1 trillion and it all went into crypto right now, that would only bring us to a $4.2 trillion market cap, which would only, last time we were at a $4.2 trillion market cap, it only put Bitcoin at like 120, 125K, call it what you want, right? Somewhere up in there. So you're not even really getting back to all-time highs at that point, right? With the $1 trillion. And we know that $1 trillion isn't going to be fully injected into cryptocurrency. You might see a tenth of that, an eighth of that, a quarter of that, whatever crypto sees. But we do have a liquidity problem, and this is something that everybody wants to gloss over and act like it doesn't exist, because everybody wants to say that we're going parabolic. But until we fix this liquidity crunch that we're in, we're not going anywhere. We're just treading water. So got to fix the liquidity. And here's what happens when you have a liquidity crunch, right? Here's what the markets look like, the crypto markets, right? The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 17. It's an extreme fear, right? Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we say buy in fear, buy in extreme fear, and sell in greed, right? You sell in greed, you sell when everybody else is coming, you buy when the market's boring and nobody's around. Like nobody's talking about crypto, nobody's around, prices are low. That's when you buy. You sell in greed, right? Well, I'll tell you guys, the only crypto that I'm buying at this point is Bitcoin, because of that liquidity crisis. And that's not to say that I won't go back in and buy other stuff, but right now I'm taking a step back. Now I'm trading a lot. I'm trading this market on leverage a lot, but I'm not actually buying and holding a lot. So and then you got the Bitcoin, the altcoin season, I'm sorry, sitting at 31 out of 100 right now. So definitely about the same as it was. And we got the total overall market cap sitting at 3.25 trillion. This thing's got to get up to at least 4.5 trillion for us to actually have a parabolic type of altcoin season. You got to at least see a $4.5 trillion market cap. So we're about 1.2 trillion away from where we need to be. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of capital. That's a lot of liquidity coming into the market. So, there's got to be a way to get there. And right now, I don't see the path to get to 4.5 unless there's a huge liquidity injection into crypto. So there, we've got to have some of these catalysts really come in. You got to have the ETFs start to take off. You got to have the ETFs take off. You got to have the government start to bail people out. You have to have quantitative easing, which we're going to have in December. You have to have, there's a bunch of these little tiny catalysts that all have to come together in order for us to really get back up to where we need to go. So it's not going to be one thing. We need a multiple things to happen at once in order for us to get to that parabolic bull run, right? And I don't know, if we keep going this way, I just don't know if that's going to happen. On Friday, we had a negative $670 million outflow of the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. That's a bad day in the neighborhood, right? But definitely a $670 million outflow, right? We got the Bitcoin dominant sitting at 58.7%. This thing's got to get down to 55% in order for your altcoins really to take off, right? And Ethereum dominant sitting at 11.9% right now. Dropped just under 12% where we were at on Friday. So would like to see it get back above 12 today, and hopefully at some point start to make that run up to 14 to 15% of the market, where we can at least try to stabilize where we were before. Gotta stabilize where we were at before we can talk about that next leg up. And it's kind of where we're at. Like what I'm talking about today is just basically getting back to where we were, not necessarily going into this parabolic bull run, but just kind of trying to get back what was lost, right? And you got $807 billion of longs and shorts sitting out there right now. We'll get to the liquidation map, and I'll tell you guys based on the liquidation map what I think Bitcoin's going to do. But got about 807. I think that's not bad. I don't really raise an alarm about liquidations until they get around 900 billion. I think that's kind of that tipping point where the market makers start to go to work. So you see over here your shorts and your longs sitting over here on Bitcoin, and right now it looks like there's a lot of leverage sitting up here right around that 96.3, that 96.3. So we could see a 96.3. We could see the market makers push up to that level. A lot of liquidity up there at 96.3. And you see a lot of liquidity on the shorts, sitting down around 94,000. So we could push up as high as 96, around 96.5, push back down to 94, and go ahead and start to liquidate a lot of people. What's up, Scottish? How are you, brother? How are you? What's going on, brother? Let me read. Yeah, everything's dumping super hard though, Scottish. Everything's dumping. I mean, the market is what it is, right, Scottish? I mean, you kind of sit out here and you go, to me, if you're buying in the top 100, you're usually going to be okay. You may have to DCA down in, and I wouldn't justify anybody DCAing into this market right now. I would say, let's wait and see where the bottom is, and then see if that's when you start to deploy your capital where the bottom is. And you're never going to hit the bottom of the market. So if you just wait for it to bottom out and wait for what looks to be like a little bit of a recovery, and then you start to deploy your capital there, do you hit the exact bottom? No. But do you have all your capital tied up? No. So I think that's probably a good thing. So let's come over here. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. And with this chart that we've been following, and this is Bitcoin since 2023, right? We've been in a constant uptrend since 2023. I mean, Bitcoin's actually doubled in price since we started tracking this in 2023. And it started to set, well, this is the weekly chart, but even on the monthly, it's actually been on an uptrend since 2023, right? So Bitcoin's actually 2x since that point, right? Over 2x. So, I don't know what more people want out of Bitcoin, but it is what it is, and that's the numbers are the numbers, right? But here's the issue, right? So we're on the weekly chart, and I'm not going to say that we're outside of this channel because it's micro thin. It's micro thin, right? That we minted this week, that we're working on this weekly candle outside of this channel, but it's just outside that channel right there. But the problem with this right here, and the alarm I've been trying to raise for a couple weeks now, and you see that this line right here, this right here is a liquidity line. It's a momentum line, right? So where's the project going? Is it going up or is it going down? Where's the momentum, right? So the momentum is still kind of in an uptrend, but starting to wean off, right, on the weekly. But the reason why we track this thing so hard is because when you look at it, now Bitcoin's only been through 3 cycles. This is its 3rd cycle. So we're taking the data that we have and we're putting it into 3 cycles, right? And trying to decipher what's going to happen. So when you look at it, as soon as then the last bull run right here, as soon as it started minting candles outside of the channel, outside of the bull run channel, you went instantly into a bear market, right? So this is the last bull run that we're looking at right now. So that's what happened, right? And then you come over here to the baby bull run before that, and you see the same thing, right? You see the baby pump up right here. You see it mint a candle outside of that little pump up, and boom, you're in a bear market. So that's kind of why I'm raising the red flag a little bit, because when you come over here and you look at where we currently are, we're in that situation, right? We're starting to fall outside of this channel, right? We're starting to fall outside of this channel a little bit. And if we start minting candles on the weekly outside of this channel, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. If history repeats itself, we're in trouble, right? That usually signals a bear market. So are we there yet? No, we're not. We're not there yet. But are we flirting dangerously with the bottom of that? Yeah, we are. Look at BTC yearly chart. A healthy pullback would be 42K. I don't think we get to 42K though, Scottish. I don't think we get to 42K. I think there's too much institutional people holding Bitcoin in the institutions. But here's the issue, right? Here's where we are. And if you look at where we are just on the weekly, right? We're in this channel, but when you look at where we are, right here is your next line, right? This is your line. We have to hold 81.7. 81.7, 82, call it where you're at. Like if we come down there, we have to hold that. And if we don't hold that line right there, let's say we come down there, let's say worst case scenario, we come down to that 81.7, 82 line, and we don't hold that, we got an issue. We got an issue. That's gonna be a big downfall. But there's a fair value gap right around 88K that I think that the market makers want to go down there and fill. I think that fair value gap right there is, is something that probably needs to be filled and probably will fill. We'll probably work our way down there at some point. They'll fill that gap and then hopefully make that run up. But we're flirting with dangerous levels here. And I say that because, not because I want to really, hurt anybody's spirits, but I want you guys to like understand kind of what I'm looking at and why I say some of the things I say, right? It's not because so here's Bitcoin on the hourly right now, right? We look at it, it looks like it's in a little bit of an uptrend right now, coming down here. Looks like it's on a little bit of an uptrend. It looks like it's trying to work its way back up into this channel, because this is the channel, this blue shaded area. Looks like it's trying to work its way back up in there, which is actually a good thing. If it can tuck itself back up inside of that channel, that's actually a really good thing. So It's definitely trying, sitting at 95.3. And you remember what I said about the liquidation maps. You kind of see how all of this starts to line up, right? You start to see at the liquidation maps, you're looking at 96.3, right? Because we'll call it 96.5. If it can work its way back up into 96.5 up in here, it'll kind of tuck itself nicely back up inside of this channel, which is actually a good thing. It's a good thing for the market. But if you look at down here on the bottom of the screen, you got the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, the 12 hour, and the 1 day. You have all of these bands right here, which is your momentum bands, which is your momentum line, and none of them are in green. So we got to flip. I'd like to see the hourly flip. One of the hourlies kind of flipping the green now. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So definitely like that, like where that's at. It's got to tuck itself back up in there, though. It looks like it's trying to do that this morning. But when you look at the overall market for crypto in general is kind of bleeding. It's bleeding on the hour, right? It bled off last night again, and it's bleeding again on the hour, right? You got Bitcoin sitting at $95,440, Ethereum sitting at $3,193, which is good for Ethereum because when you look at Ethereum was flirting with 2,900 yesterday throughout yesterday throughout the day. There was a point in the day where Ethereum was flirting with 2,900. You got XRP sitting at $2.26 right now. XRP is in an interesting situation because you're gonna have ETFs at launch, but yet is there going to be enough liquidity to send them ETFs, right? That's going to be the rub, right? That's going to be the back and forth. I do think that when the iShares ETF comes out, that's when you'll see that push up. Right now you're flirting with second and third tier ETFs, right? Not to say that they're insignificant, but they're not going to pump the market. And people are asking, like, the XRP ETFs launched, why didn't it pump the price up? Well, because the ETF holders had already bought XRP that are sitting in think about it like a bank, right? They bought XRP, it's sitting in the bank, so they're just trading their own XRP. You won't see it pump the charts until each one of them ETFs actually have to go out here and buy XRP on the open market to back their spot ETF, right? So, like when BlackRock launches their iShares, they're going to have a bank of XRP sitting there to back that ETF, right? It's not going to do anything to the price until that bank of XRP is gone. They've already bought that. They probably bought that way back when, and they're just sitting on it, right? So until that volume, that's why volume is so important. So until that volume kicks up and they actually have to go out and buy it on the open market, you're not going to see the move that everybody was expected. And that's why I say to you guys, like, when these ETFs are launched, wait about a month, right? Wait about a month before you really start to get a good feel of where they're going to go and how they're going to impact the price and how they're going to impact the project. Because if within a month they don't catch on and they don't have big huge buys and a lot of movement on them, that ETF is sitting on a bank of tokens that they've already bought. So that's why you don't see the movement from Canary Capital and a couple of the other ones, because they already own that shit. So you gotta buy them out of what they own first, right? Zcash making a nice run, $588 right now. Zcash is making. Zcash and Dash are probably the shining stars right now in the market, right? They've been hanging on and they've been running. It's that privacy protocols is really the meta right now. That's what's really going, really moving the market right now. About the only things that are really moving the market. Everything else is just really lagging behind. Even Solana, when you get up here and you look at Solana sitting at 141, we'll look at these charts here. in just a second. Well, we can roll over and look at some of them now. When we look at some of these charts and we look at like a Solana chart on the hourly, you see the momentum is starting to level off right here. It was in this nasty downtrend, right? So you never want to long the market right here up underneath this line, right? Like that's just not what you want to do, because you're fighting against the grain right here, right? You're fighting against the traders, and 9 times out of 10 you'll lose that battle, right? But when you look at it, it's been in a constant downtrend, right? Now it just kind of chopped sideways. It's just chopping sideways right now, Solana, and we'll see if it can break to the positive side. It looks like it wants to. It looks like it wants to break 141. So if we can get a positive day today, you might see a big swing to the upside with Solana, right? I think Solana's gonna move. I just think that it's way too big of a project, way too much going on over there. You look at XRP's in the same situation, constant downtrend right here, and then you're starting to see the momentum kind of move to the upside on the hourly right now. You got a buy signal right here, and now that you see the market is starting to move just a little bit to the upside. I wouldn't necessarily call it an up market at this point, but definitely we're moving to the positive side of it. All right, it looks like in this on the hourly chart, it looks like we might want to start running up just a little bit here. SPX 6900 got freaking just absolutely decimated here, but at the same time, got a buy signal coming in right here. Looks like the momentum is starting to move here. You see this line coming down. You see it start change colors over here to green. Looks like it wants to start moving up. Ken, what's going on, brother? So yeah, how you hanging in over there, Ken? Let me know, brother. How you hanging in over there in the EU, man? But yeah, it definitely looks like it wants to start running up a little bit. SPX 6900. Might not be a bad long position to take right here. I mean, it's got a buy signal. The momentum starting to come up just a little bit, sitting at 50 cents right now. Can it make a run back up to just even 60 cents? Would be a good gain there. So it very well may move. XLM, when we look at that, same situation. Well, actually, XLM is just now starting to turn on the hour. Again, the buy signals are starting to come in a little bit. Definitely just starting to turn on the hour. Looks like it wants to move up. So yeah, market itself, I mean, you come over here and you look at it, it looks really red on the hourly, but it on the hourly bubbles, but it does look like it wants to maybe gain a little bit of ground this morning. The crypto market, maybe it kind of is in that 50-50 situation right now. Kind of, if we can get some life, if we can open up the United States markets at 9:30 and we can get some positive momentum flowing in the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, could help out a little bit as well. So definitely maybe looks like it wants to run up a little bit, but again, it's in that very touchy situation. Chainlink sitting down here at $14.10. Love Chainlink. But Chainlink is in the same situation. Just absolutely got beat up, right? But yeah, there could be definitely a run in here for Bitcoin up to 96, 96.5, somewhere up in there. Go up there and liquidate them guys. So when we look at what the problem is over here in crypto, it's liquidity, right? And when we look at these blockchains, like we can't get around this, right? Like these are the numbers. We can't ignore these to fit our explanation or what we want to happen. We can't ignore the numbers, right? And the numbers right now are saying, Ethereum in 24 hours only put $2.7 billion through its blockchain. Now you say $2.7 billion through the blockchain, that's a lot of money. It's not when you were putting $3 or $4 billion through your blockchain on a normal day, right? It's just not a lot of cash, right? I mean, it's down. I don't want to say it's not a lot, but it's down. You look at what Solana's putting 2.3 billion through in 24-hour DEX volume. It's down for Solana. Solana's beating Ethereum right now, but it's down for Solana. You got BSE. You got BSE sitting over here at 2.2 billion, just underneath Solana as far as 24-hour volume. Remember, BSE was absolutely smoking it not too long ago. So they've actually come down a little bit. Then so we'll see. We'll see where they head. Tron, another one here, sitting at 133.11 million. That's crap volume, guys. You got base. You got base sitting here at 810.4 million. That's rough. That's rough in 24-hour volume for base as well. So base is definitely struggling over there as far as volume goes, right? So that's not good, right? So the volume that is actually coming through your blockchain is not good. You got the Flare network sitting here at $10.7 million. I mean, that's not even a blip on a radar. 10.7 million is projects do. I mean, meme coins are doing 10.7 million right now. That's not a good volume that you want to have on a whole blockchain, right? Again, so you got Stellar sitting here at 992.5 thousand 900, so that's rough as well, right? That's rough there. So what I'm saying to you guys is that there's not a lot of money that are flowing through these blockchains, right? So everybody talks about XRP. Well, when you look at the XRPL, it only did 4.34 million dollars in 24-hour trading volume. Think about this for a minute. The XRPL, where everybody says that institutions are moving their money, did $4.34 million in volume yesterday. 24-hour volume. Think about that for 1 second. So when people tell you that banks and institutions are moving their money through XRPL, it did $4.34 million in 24-hour trading volume. Think about it. And then when you get down here to the XRP network, which I believe is just RippleNet, it's doing 2.93 million, right? 2.93 million. Just pause for a second and think about that. Just think about these aren't my numbers. I didn't come up with these numbers. This isn't me. These numbers are just the numbers. They are what they are, right? So we got to take a step back and look at the numbers. So, right here, Bitcoin price falls. Everybody's raising the liquidity concern, right? The liquidity. You got this article here that's raising the liquidity concern. Japan moved to put cryptocurrency into the to the financial sector over there where they are. So they're classifying it as more of a financial instrument, which is good for crypto. So it's not all bad news. Like, it's good for crypto, right? That they're moving that to the financial sector, right? Because that's what crypto is, right? It's finance, right? But it's the liquidity concerns that everybody are worried about, right? I just showed you guys about the liquidity. There's not a lot of volume on the chain, right? There's not a lot of volume on any chain right now, right? So people aren't really out here trading, right? They're not out here trading. They're not out here moving money. They're not out here buying meme coins. They're not out here buying crypto on the networks. The networks aren't being used to the capacity that they were just being used last month. So until we get an injection of liquidity, we're going to continue to see the market in this situation, right? In this red situation until we can get some sort of injection, right? So it doesn't matter. So my thought to you guys today is clear the noise, right? Just take a step back from all the noise around crypto, right? What everybody's telling you, what everybody's saying, what these projects are saying is going to happen with their project, what a lot of these guys are telling you to do. Just take a step back. Even me, like, verify everything I'm saying. Go to the blockchain, look at the volume, see if what I'm telling you is accurate. But I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you numbers, right? Numbers. You can't argue with these numbers. Now, you can argue with your opinion about these numbers, but the numbers are the numbers, right? Just take a step back, right? And say to yourself, okay, where is this market right now? Where do I think that this market is right now, right? Well, one thing that we do know for a fact, this isn't an opinion, this is a fact, is that Bitcoin fell out of this channel. It's fighting to get back up in there, but for right now, as of this moment, it fell out of the channel that it was running up in since 2023, right? We do know that for a fact, right? We know that, and we know it by the price. It's sitting at 95.4, right? So I can sit here and pull up 5 charts that'll tell you that Bitcoin's going to a new all-time high, right? And I can sit here and pull up 5 charts that tell you that Bitcoin's going into a bear market, right? I mean, articles. I can pull up 5 articles that tell you that Bitcoin's going to a new all-time high. I can pull up 5 articles that tell you that Bitcoin's going to a bear market, right? Clear that noise out and just look at where Bitcoin is. Where is Bitcoin? Bitcoin's outside of the channel that has been trading in since 2023. Fact. Now you make the assumption of where you think Bitcoin's going next. I'm telling you, from my opinion, if we don't see a liquidity input into crypto, Bitcoin's going to $88,000. Right? Now, does that happen tomorrow? No. It'll work its way down there quite slowly. But if we can see a liquidity input into Bitcoin, into the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin will probably make it back up to 115. Right? And I think that DG's opinion is that's Bitcoin has already set its new all-time high at 126. That's where it is this cycle, right? That's just my opinion. That's where it is. Will it run up to 115? Will we get this euphoria about it's back, and then it'll slowly start to work its way down? Very well may happen. And I think that may be the case, right? That may be the case. But do we get back up to that 126? Well, we're sitting at 95.3 right now. Do you know how much liquidity has to come into the market for us to get back up to 126? And these are just this isn't me. These are just facts, right? We're sitting at $3.25 trillion in market cap right now. Bitcoin was up to around 126, and we're sitting at about 4.3 trillion dollars in market cap. So you need about 1.1 trillion dollars to come into the market for Bitcoin to reach that level again, right? That's not me. That's the numbers are the numbers. Like, that's not my opinion. That's what happened when Bitcoin was at like 4.2, 4.3 trillion was when the market cap was at 4.3, 4.2 trillion. That's when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. You're sitting at 3.25 right now, right? So you need at least 1.1 trillion to come back into the market just to regain that. That's a lot of liquidity, right? And that's just saying that everything stays the same and that liquidity all flows into the same direction, right? So I know a lot of people on here look at XRP. Well, let's have a look at XRP. Let's see where XRP is actually at, right? Not all the noise, right? Let's not don't think about the noise, right? Well, let's do this live, right? We'll do this live on stream, right? So we have XRP on the hourly right now, right? XRP's on the hourly right now. Can we all agree that we're looking at this chart on the hourly, right? I think we all can agree on that, right? So let's say XRP right now is in this uptrend. Can we agree that that's an uptrend over the hourly? Yeah? Okay. What just happened? It fell out of the uptrend and then did what? On this hourly candle right here. It started to mint a red candle on the hourly. Fell right out of the uptrend, started to mint an hourly candle, right? Hourly candle in a red right here. Your oscillator down here is telling you that it's going to overbought territory, which means what? Which means it's probably coming down. You have your trend indicator right here that's telling you that the momentum is kind of trading to the upside, but not quite to the upside yet, right? Not a big upside move, but starting to get there, right? So what does XRP got to do? It's got to come back up here. It's got to get above this line, right? If it doesn't get above this line, this upward trending line right here that it's been in for a couple days. I mean, we all agree that that's an uptrend, right? If it doesn't get above this line right here, where's it coming? It's coming back down here to support, right? It's going to come back down here to support, which is going to find support somewhere between $2.16 and we'll go halfway up and $2.21, right? It's about halfway. Can we agree that that's about halfway? And this is what usually happens. It usually goes on a run, comes back down halfway, builds a new support, and goes back up, right? Sitting at $2.25, right? Can we agree that that's what's going on? Okay. So that's where people ask me all the time, you don't talk a lot about XRP. Where's XRP at? What's it going to do? How come you don't talk about it? There's what it's going to do. There's what it's going to do. So here's what I'm going to do. Because it's in this uptrend and it's starting to come out of this uptrend right now, if it continues down, right, I'm going to short it down to 122. If it goes back up above that channel, as soon as it breaks up, I'll long it. That's what we're going to do. You're getting this live on screen. What's XRP going to do? Well, that's what it's going to do. Now, people will say, but the ETFs and all that stuff's coming out. It doesn't matter. This is what the chart's doing right now. So that's what we're going to do. That's what the chart's doing right now. All the rest of that stuff, like I'm telling you guys, can't at this point in the market, right? You have to cancel out all the stuff. Just don't listen to the stuff that clogs your head. Just look at the chart. Don't listen to everything else. Don't listen to all that stuff. Don't listen to all that craziness. Don't listen to all of these people telling you that to all these people telling you that we're going to Valhalla or all this. We're not there in the market. We're at the market where we're at the point of the market where we have to play the market for what it is. Look at BTC yearly chart. Let's see. Man, I don't even know the last time I pulled up a yearly chart. 12 months. That's got to be the year right here. We'll get to BTC. we're going to get off here in a minute, but let me get to BTC. All right. So here's BTC on the yearly. Here it is year over year, right? So if BTC pulls back, it's 71.3. 71.3 is where you would want to see it. I'm not agreeing with you, Scottish. This is a healthy pullback for BTC. I mean, like I said before, BTC has more than 2x since 2023, since it's been in that uptrend, right? I don't know what more people want out of it on this run. I'm having a hard time trying to understand what more people want. What more do they want? Like, I guess that's my struggle, right? Is like, are we so blind that we can't see what it's done? I mean, you look at Ethereum on a year over year, right? What more do you want? $4,875 reached the same level that it was at in 2021. This is 2021 right here. This is the candle that 2021 was on, right? And we all know what happened in 2021. We had all of this fake liquidity injected into the market. The governments were just throwing money at people. It was all this made up liquidity, right? In 2021. For the reason that you know that I can't say on here because they'll strike me if I say it, right? But that was a fake pump. That was fake liquidity injected into the market. So this run, BTC, I mean, Ethereum actually reached the same levels, right? Well, where'd it come from this year? Where'd it come from, right? Like, well, it came from, I said this candle all the way down there, but it came from like 1,300. I looked the other day, right around 1,300, all the way up to $4,075. What more do you want out of Ethereum? Like, I'm asking for a friend. You know, people say that we're not in a bull market, haven't been in a bull market. This isn't the bull market that we're used to. Ethereum went from like 1,300 this year all the way up to like $4,775. More do you want? Like, you know, I just yeah. So I mean, look at it year over year, right? Scottish, you want to look at it year over year? Look at it year over year. It just fully it actually makes my point for me, right? Like when we look at XRP was at 50 cents, right? It ran all the way up to, why is this line like that? That's not the right line. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, we're all the way up here. So it ran all the way up to like $3, right? This year. Over $3. Started at 50 cents. 33 cents if you want to get technical. More do you want? More do you want? How much more of a pump do you need? More do you want? So I'm just saying, we got to put it into perspective, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do for you guys today, is just put it into perspective, right? Like, what more do you want, right? Ask yourself that, like, seriously, like, what more do you want? Solana to start the year was at like, let's call it an even $30. You can split hairs between 30 and 40, right? So $141 right now. Is that not a huge liquidity injection? To me, it is, right? Like that is to me a huge liquidity injection, right? So like I asked the question not for you guys to answer it, but for you guys to say to yourself, what more do you want? More XRP ETFs? Yeah, but like I said before, like the XRP ETFs are going to come. It's going to take about a month for them to settle in, right? So when you look at it for what it is, like that's got to be the liquidity that drives XRP, because there's not enough liquidity inside of the cryptocurrency, the market, to drive that where you need it, where everybody's saying it's going to go, right? So it's got to come from the ETFs. BTC was 103,000 10 days ago. Yeah, it was. It was, Ken. It was 103,000 10 days ago. You're right. You're exactly right. That's what I'm saying. But the liquidity has left, right? So where's Ken? Where, like I'm saying, like where is that liquidity injection coming from? Where's that money coming from, right? Where's the infusion of liquidity in the crypto? Because right now, what you're getting is you're getting a lot of people that are smarter than me that are saying that there's no liquidity in crypto, right? And they're right. You know, White Rock, you know, like I said, White Rock, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, market makers in crypto, is saying that there's no liquidity. This is the main issue in crypto right now. You have Coinbase, you know, one of the largest exchanges out there in the world, and runs the base chain, right? And runs most of the ETFs, right? They custodian most of the ETFs, right? Saying to you that the liquidity is razor thin, right? So how many more people do you need to tell you that the problem with crypto right now is that there's no liquidity before you believe that there's no liquidity? It's kind of like saying, okay, let's look at it. Like if I tell you there's a storm coming, if I come to your house and say to you guys, hey, there's a tornado coming, and you say, there's no tornado coming, and you don't believe me, right? Cool. Then all of a sudden you start to hear the sirens go off, right? Around you, saying there's a tornado coming. And you say, we hear them sirens all the time. It's no big deal, right? And then all of a sudden you see the winds start to pick up, and your house starts to rattle, and your house starts to shake. At what point do you realize that you're inside a tornado? Like, so until the liquidity comes in, what are you going to do? We are where we are. We're going to bitch about it, complain about it, or we're going to take advantage of the market, right? So we're going to take advantage of the market. That's what the hell we're going to do. So, I mean, you look at Solana right now. Again, live in your face, Solana, right here at 141 on the daily chart. Well, I'll go to hourly. Hourly just kind of looks a little bit better to me. So we're on an hourly. You have Solana. We'll do the same thing with Solana, right? You got Solana right here. Last couple hours, call it a day. It's been in an uptrend right here. We can agree that that's in an uptrend. We can agree that the momentum starting to swing to the upside. We can agree that we're starting to come above this zero line right here. I don't need to ask, because the numbers are the numbers, right? So here we are, right? We're there, right? So we're starting to push to the uptrend right now. So how do you play Solana? Well, it's pretty damn simple on an hourly, right? You know it's in an uptrend. Here's your candle right here that you're currently working on. It looks like it doesn't break below this line. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Here's your candle that just minted below that uptrend line, right? If that candle continues to come in, where's Solana going? Well, it has a chance to bottom out at 130, at 135. But usually, on these things, you get some sort of support halfway up around 130, around 138. Well, what's happening around 138? Well, damn, there's a lot of support around 138. There's a lot of support around 138 going across that chart, right? So how do you play it? Well, tell you how I'm going to play it. If this candle starts to mature itself, I'll short it down to 138. If it starts to run up above this line, yeah, I'm all momentum saying take a long here. And that's how I'll play it. Tim Ski, what's going on, my brother? What's going on, my brother? But yeah, that's how you got to play this market right now. But I encourage you guys, wipe the noise out, right? Don't worry about what people are saying to you, right? Don't worry about all that. Good morning, Kelcher. Good morning. Good morning, Kelcher. Good morning. Don't worry about what Conehead, what's going on, man? What's going on? How are you? Don't worry about what everybody's saying to you out here. Look at the chart, right? Look at the charts. Trade the charts, right? And know that everybody is raising the alarm right now about liquidity. The liquidity in the market is drying up. That's an undisputable fact. You can't deny that number, right? We looked at it. You can't deny the number, right? That number is what it is. You look at on-chain volume. We looked at it, right? Like, this isn't my opinion. A lot of people will jump on these streams and they give you their opinion. This isn't my opinion. Just look at the volume across chains in 24 hours. It's all down. It's all down. That means that the liquidity is drying up, right? So, and then you have White Rock, Coinbase, and even CNBC raising the question of liquidity. It's an issue. It's an issue. And until we have a liquidity injection into the market, we're going to be where we're going to be. And where we are is right here. We're on a red hour. We're on a red hour. We're on a red day. We're on a red week. We're on a red month. And the only thing that's green is this yearly, year over year. That's it. You're on a red month, a red week, a red day, a red hour. And you have Bitcoin, BTC. I'm not, I'm only doing this to you guys this morning because I get sick of people. I get sick of people saying things and taking you down a path. Like I said, I can pull up 15 articles that tell me that we're in a bull market. I can pull up 15 articles that tell me that we're in a bear market. I only know what I see in front of my face. And here we are. Here's that channel right here, that blue box right there. There's that channel we've been tracking since 2023. And here's where Bitcoin currently is. 95,100. It's dropping. Just lost another $200 while we were on stream. It's dropping. It's already outside the channel. Now it's dropping further outside the channel. That's where we are. You can't argue with that. I don't need to have an opinion. You can't argue with them. It is what it is. So if we mint a weekly candle, if this continues, and we mint, we'll go back to the week. Let's go back to the monthly. It'll even tell us more, right? So here we are on the monthly, right? If this monthly candle is minted outside of that channel, it's bull run over. You don't gotta believe me. Let's go back and look at the prior bull run. There's the channel that it was in the prior bull run. There's your first candle getting minted outside of it. Where were you? You were in a nasty bear market. We can go back to the first Bitcoin cycle. It's right here. There's your uptrend. There's your first monthly candle getting minted. Outside of it, where'd you go? Straight to a bear market. So if history repeats itself, you are where you are. We are where we are. It's not my opinion. We are where we are. Like I said to you before, Bill Parcells, one of the best coaches ever, used to have a saying, you are what your record says you are. And we are where we are. So play the market for what it is, right? Will we fall outside of this channel on a monthly? I don't know. We're going to find out. Trade the market that's in front of your face, right? You still got a nice uptrend on a monthly. Can we push back up in that box? Sure the hell can. Sure the hell can. And I sure the hell hope we do. And I sure the hell hope that we find some liquidity somewhere real soon. And I sure the hell hope that this liquidity comes into the market and it comes flooding in real quick, because if it doesn't, you don't got to look at me to tell you where we're at. Just come over here, pull this market cap right here, $3.25 trillion. That's not my opinion that we're at $3.25 trillion. That's what the market cap is. And if we don't get some liquidity back in this market, and we don't get some liquidity back in this market soon, that 3.25 trillion is going to go to 3.2 trillion. And then it's going to go to 3.1 trillion. So I sure the hell hope that we find some liquidity, and we find it pretty quick. Now, a lot of these people will sit in front of these cameras and they'll say to you, oh my God, everything is good. And, we're going to bounce back, and I'm going to bring you up 5 different indicators that tell you that we're going to bounce back. No, the price is what the price is. The box is what it is. The price is what it is. We are where we are. And if we go to 115K from where we are, I'll be a happy man. If we go down to 70K from where we are, guess what? I have a plan for that too. So what I'm telling you guys is, have a plan for if we go up, and have a plan for where we go down. And I know a lot of people love XRP in this chat. A lot of people own it and they love it. Here's what I'll tell you. This is where I give you a little bit of advice. You better have a plan for what you're going to do with your XRP. If it goes to $10, and you better have a plan what you're going to do with your XRP if it goes down to $1.50. You better have a plan. Because it could go either way on you. And it could go either way quickly. Very, very quickly. So have a plan. That's all I'm telling you. Have a plan. Good, best case scenario, worst case scenario, have a plan. Your deep thought. Your deep thoughts. Yeah, sometimes people need to hear him. Thanks, Ken. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, my thought is, like, I look at the numbers, right? I look at the numbers and I look at the charts, right? And I'm telling you guys, like, the best thing for you guys to do right now is block out the noise. Just block out the noise and just look at the charts and ask yourself, does this make sense, right? Does this make sense, right? Does what I'm doing right now with my money make sense? And then sit back and ask yourself, if you're down on your bag, right? If you're down on your bag, ask yourself this question: what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Not what did the project do wrong, or why is crypto where what did I do wrong? Was it a bad entry point? Did I take a bad entry? Did I not take enough profits on the way up? Did I hold too long? Did I believe what everybody was telling me versus what I was seeing? And then say to yourself, how do I fix it? Right? How do I fix it? Am I over if you're worried about crypto right now, and like you're sweating and you're worried about whether or not, you know, and you're stressed out about crypto right now, one or two things are going on. You're either you're overexposed, right? In crypto. You have more money in the market than what you should. Or two, you're not drilling the chart out far enough. You're looking at it on like a 15-minute or a 5-minute time frame or something like that, and you're not pulling it back to say, because I just said to you, BTC gave you a 2x. That's 2023. 2x. XRP came from 50 cents to $3. Right? So drill the chart back, look at it for what it is, right? And then ask yourself, why am I in a position where I'm in? If you're overexposed, then fix it, right? Take some of that money, put it in the stock market. Take some of that money, put it somewhere else if you're overexposed, right? And if you're looking at the charts in too much detail, like on the hourly or on the 15 minutes or something like that, drill out, right? But you shouldn't be stressed out about your investment because you shouldn't be overexposed, because we talked about this the whole bear market about not being overexposed. And if you're overexposed in low market caps, that's a problem for you. That's a problem that you need to fix. I told you guys 3 to 5% of your portfolio should be in low market cap plays. If you are overexposed in low market cap plays, that's a problem. And nobody can save you from that problem. Nobody, no chart can save you from an overexposure in your portfolio. But seriously, now is the time to take a step back if you're stressed out and say, why am I stressed and how can I fix it? How can I fix it? Do I need to underexpose myself? I'll tell you guys a prime example of what happened to me. And I was talking to one of my buddies about it. I said to them, oh, crap, going through my portfolios, I'm way overexposed in Solana. I'm way overexposed into Solana. I didn't want to be that exposed. I didn't want to have that much money wrapped up into Solana. I wanted to spread that out a little bit, but I was in some stuff. I made some money, and it just ended up where my Solana just started stacking on top of each other, right? And I didn't take care of it at the time in which I should have took care of it, right? Because we all make mistakes. When Solana was at 225, I should have moved some of that money, and I didn't. I didn't even realize that I was that exposed in Solana, right? But what I did is I went back and I said, all right, I know that this is a problem. So what do? I go back and I fix the problem. I fixed the problem. I got myself back to the amount of Solana that I wanted in my portfolio, and I moved the rest. I fixed the problem. So fix the problem. Fix the problem. If you're overexposed in BT, I don't know how you can ever be overexposed in BTC, but if you feel like you're overexposed in Ethereum, fix the problem. If your portfolio is 50% low market caps, fix the problem. Don't complain about the problem. Fix the problem. You're way too exposed. 3 to 5% of your portfolio is all you should have in low market cap plays. And when I say low market cap plays, I mean any meme coin, any startup, cryptocurrency, anything like that. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. If it's not in the top 250, if you look at your portfolio and you're holding a bunch of tokens that are not in the top 250, and that's over 50% of your portfolio, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. You probably will not make it out of this bull run. Just the beginning, middle, and end of that story right there. And you won't have anybody to blame but yourself. And when you look at that portfolio, you should be 3 to 5% in low market cap plays. Anything more than that, you're in trouble. You're getting beat the hell up right now, because I'll show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll get out of here. And that's not to say that these low market cap plays are bad, right? But they definitely, when the big market in general is hurting, these are the first ones to hurt, right? So let's just have a look and see what we're talking about. You guys know I'm invested in White Monkey, right? I like this project. But again, we're honest about the projects that are out here, right? Even the ones I'm invested in. $7.72 million right now. This thing was up to 14 million. That's a 50% haircut. If you didn't take any profits at 14 mil, that's a 50% haircut. Call it what you want. Like, that's the numbers are the numbers. That's a 50% haircut. And you didn't have to take it. XCL. I'm not invested in XCL, but I know a lot of you people are. So we'll look at it. Okay. 4.9 million. This thing was up to 10 million just a couple weeks ago. That's over a 50% haircut. Why would you take that? Why would you take that haircut? People say DCA. Why would you take a 50% haircut? If somebody said to you, you're gonna go to the grocery store and you're gonna pay 50% more for the goods that you're seeing that you want, you think that's a good deal? What are profits? Good question, Timsky. Good question, my brother. Trouble. You guys know this is the platform I use to put most of my longs and short ends. Love their perp platform. Think it's the best perp platform out there for perpetuals. But let's not just hype it up. Last time we looked at this, it was 13, almost 14 cents, sitting at 10 cents. Took a 4. What do you think I did? I sold the majority of that at 13 cents. I'll come in and buy it. The market continues to fall. It's going to come down to about 8 cents, 7 cents. I'll come in and buy it then. Why would I just leave my money sitting there and continue to get hurt? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Let's look at Shield. I like Shield. I think it's a great project. Sitting at 364K right now. This thing was up to about 500K. I'm just putting it out there. Hyperswap. I like Hyperswap. I really like this project. They even have paper trading going on over there on the perp decks now, right? I think it's an amazing project. I think that they're going to do some amazing things over there. But I'm not here for what they're going to do. I'm here for what they're doing. And right now it's sitting at $389,000. 5 days ago, this thing was at 500,000. Why would you ride this thing anywhere below 400K? Why would you do that? Seriously, I'm asking for a friend. My boys Corny, they stopped by today. And my boys, they're doing tremendous work over there. 68.2K. They're holding actually pretty strong when you look at the floor. The floor set. It looks like the floor set here. So you really didn't take a haircut here, right? So this would be one that you would hang on to because you really didn't take a haircut, right? But getting back to something like Hyperswap, like I said, if you wrote it up to $1 million, you wrote it down to 500K. Why would you write it down anywhere lower than 400K? It was at $1 million. We wrote it up to $1 million. We brought this to you when we first started talking about Hyperswap. It was right here about the same price, 380K. It was right there about the same price. Wrote it up to $1 million. Wrote it down to 500K. Why would you write it down any further? So with that, guys, that proves my point. And about why you only want 3% of your stuff in low market cap portfolios, because that, and quit riding them down. Quit riding them down. And with that, guys, man, we are like way over time. I got to get out of here. I have like a crap ton of work to do. So I got to get out of here. Got to get payroll done. Got to get all that stuff done. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button on the way out. Smash that share button on the way out. We're up out of here. Peace, guys. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.